Hi everyone, welcome. We'll get started in a minute. Okay. Hi everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for taking time out of your day to attend our webinar. My name is Tina and I'm the marketing manager for Tvarana. If you're new here, welcome. Returning attendees, I'm glad to see you here again. This month's webinar is going to cover Portals Pro by Tvarana, which is a platform consisting of three portals, that is vendor, employee, and client portal, all built on the NetSuite platform. And this session in particular, we'll be focusing on the vendor portal and how this vendor portal can help elevate your vendor relationships within NetSuite. Now, like I said, we do these, or if I haven't mentioned it before, we do these webinars every month. And you can find our previous month's webinars by going to our website and heading on over to the webinars archive page where you can catch up with all our past sessions. A little bit about our company. We were founded in 2007 as a NetSuite and Salesforce consulting firm. And in 2014, we became an SDN provider. We now have about 8 apps and growing on suiteapp.com, all designed to extend NetSuite platform functionality. If you'd like to check them out, just use the search term Tvarana, which is Tvarana on suiteapp.com, and that should pull up all our products. Okay, our panelist for today is Shravanti Talapalli. She is our product development manager and she leads the team working on product discovery, planning, and development, product demos, implementation, and post implementation support. Hey, Shravanti.
Hi, Tina. Hello, everyone.
Okay, Shravanti, let's get started. And to start with, I would like to pose the question, which is what exactly is Portals Pro?
Sure. So you covered some of it already, Tina, but let me just go over that in a little bit detail. Portals Pro is built for NetSuite platform that streamlines vendor and customer management and employee engagement. The vendor management aspect of Portals Pro automates the purchase to pay cycle, which is right from vendor onboarding, self-service, help desk, and up to invoice automation. The customer management module enables your customers to view their transactions and also initiate hassle-free payments. The third part of this is employee management, where Portals Pro can be used by HR teams to communicate and keep employees engaged and broadcast any important information. Employees can log into the portal to view their profiles, enter expenses, apply or approve leaves, access paychecks, etc. For today's webinar, we will focus on the features and latest updates we have on our vendor portal. Stay tuned for our future webinars to learn about the other portals.
Shravanti, why is the vendor portal important?
So vendor portal streamlines vendor management operations like onboarding, invoice submissions by vendors, and tracking communication, etc. It provides real-time visibility for vendors into transactions related to them. It fosters better collaboration, potentially improving terms and pricing with your vendor. The overall efficiency results in cost savings through reduced efforts and better vendor relationships. It also encourages the shift from paper-based to digital processes, saving resources and space. It also makes it easy to follow compliance rules and regulations around vendor management. It facilitates global vendor interactions, overcoming barriers like time zones and languages.
Okay. Can we talk about some of the highlights of the vendor portal?
Sure. So, like I mentioned before, it is a built for NetSuite app. So, it integrates with your existing NetSuite instance seamlessly. Needless to say, it is safe and secure. Our app plugs right into your NetSuite environment, thus making all your approval workflow processes intact. As a business, you likely have a pre-established onboarding procedure. It's crucial to guide each vendor through this process, ensuring the completion of all necessary steps. This not only ensures the proper documentation, but also validates the vendor's credentials. The portal provides an option to activate or deactivate the vendor onboarding feature. When the vendor onboarding feature is deactivated, vendors gain access to the portal as soon as the vendor record is created in NetSuite. However, if the onboarding feature is activated, vendors must first receive an approval from the designated procurement team member or members before they can access the portal in its entirety. The RFQ feature enables businesses to efficiently manage the procurement process for goods and services from their suppliers. Vendors will be able to view their account information and request for updates on the same. Vendors will have access to their transactional data as well. This will reduce their queries and save your team's time. All of this can be achieved without you having to purchase a NetSuite license for each of your vendors. We just need one license for unlimited portal user access. This could save a lot in terms of NetSuite licenses cost for you as well. We will also see that the vendor portal has a help desk feature that can be used by your vendors to submit their inquiries or issues. These get assigned to appropriate team members as per the predefined one-time configuration that is set up in NetSuite. One of the great features we have on this app is the invoice automation. In most companies, the AP team spends a lot of time manually processing large volumes of vendor invoices by keying in the data from the invoice into an ERP system like NetSuite, and then matching them to POs, etc. They also spend time responding to vendor inquiries. Our invoice automation module optimizes this mundane and repetitive process by automating the core process of converting vendor invoices into bills in NetSuite within minutes of it being received. The automation is achieved through our powerful OCR ML-based technology, which can achieve great accuracy. The human in the loop aspect of it makes sure that there is continuous improvement in accuracy, and also so that the system will also be able to process a wide range of invoice formats. The system supports two-way matching of bills, meaning PO number on the incoming invoice is extracted and matched with the PO number in NetSuite. If a match is found, a bill is created against that PO. If not, you could either choose to create a standalone bill or just flag off the invoice for manual review. The flagged records will be shown on a dashboard, and in some cases, emails will also be sent out to concerned users, making it easy for taking an action in such cases. This feature has been discussed in detail in one of our previous webinars this year. You could browse our website to read or reach out to us to get the webinar recording.
These features sound really exciting, Shravanti. I'm sure our audience would like to see a demo. Can we get started with that?
Sure. So let me start by sharing my screen. Give me a second.
While you pull your screen up, Shravanti, I am just going to put a poll in our poll section for our audience to answer. And you should see it populate on your screen right now, audience. And just take a couple of seconds while Shravanti is getting her demo ready. Okay, thank you. Shravanti, over to you.
1 second. All right, starting. Can you see my screen, Tina?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm logged into NetSuite. Let me go over the features that we have on the vendor portal. So all the features are accessible through this tab, vendor management and configuration, which lets us configure the questionnaires. This is useful for vendor onboarding. And then there is an option to configure emails and alter the email content, set up reminder emails. There is also help desk issue assignment, where the help desk issues can be categorized and each category can be assigned to a particular user. And the bank payment file format and OCR are related to invoice automation, has been discussed previously as well. And the next one is a staging questionnaire configuration. So let me just take you to this quickly. So on vendor onboarding, we support staged onboarding, wherein you could assign vendors onboarding questionnaires in stages. So you could do one primary questionnaire set for all vendors, and once those responses are submitted, you could evaluate the responses and assign the next stage, or as many stages as you would like. And you could assign approvers to different stages as well. So this is a simple setting, and it is required to do it only one time. So for the demo, I'm going to choose the equipment supplies category of vendors. I have set up 2 stages for onboarding. Let me click here to show you the details. So the way this category of vendors is set up is they would have to go through the demo 1 questionnaire first, and it has to be approved by the relationship manager. I'll show you how that is set up. And then once the questionnaire 1 is submitted, they will be assigned questionnaire 2 as well. And once both the questionnaires are evaluated and approved, the vendor will be onboarded into NetSuite. Okay, and then we also have onboarding and reassessment reports, where you could see the vendors and the status of their onboarding request and the sequence of approvers as well. Green indicates this request has been approved by this approver, and then red indicates that it has been denied. So this just gives a snapshot, an overall view of where your vendors are with respect to onboarding. And help desk issue log, of course, can be a place where you could see all the issues that are coming in or inquiries that are coming in from your vendors. So let me start with the onboarding feature. So I'll just go back to NetSuite, and I just created a vendor to save us some time. So let us start with the vendor onboarding, the staged onboarding feature. So this is a vendor record that has been created with some basic information. And then I have also added a contact for this, and I'll talk about when this contact will be used. And under vendor management tab, we have everything related to the vendor portal captured here. So I've provided the vendor portal access to this vendor. And then if I check the welcome email, an email with an invite will be sent to the vendor, providing them information such as vendor portal URL and login credentials. And then relationship manager, I set it to myself, meaning the onboarding requests would come to me as per the configuration that is set up. And we also have two-factor authentication enabled for vendor portal. So we could choose to disable it here if there is a need to, but otherwise these would be enabled. This is the username that has to be used by the vendor to log into the portal and submit their responses. So just I'll show you how the welcome email looks like. So this is just an introduction of PortalsPro, and there is URL and login credentials. So I would just go to this URL. Okay. Enter the information here. So since two-factor authentication is enabled, I need to provide the code. So let me just enter it. All right, so as you can see, stage 1 questionnaire has been assigned to this vendor, Ace and Supplies, and there is a due date for this as well. Reminders will be sent to vendors if they do not submit the onboarding by this time. And you could always ask vendors to submit certain documents as well to go along with their questionnaire responses. So I would just have to browse and let's say attach document here. And then we haven't marked any of these questions as mandatory just to save time. I'm just going to say Ace and Supplies and hit submit. So this questionnaire can be configured. You could add as many questions as you would like for different stages, or do everything in just one stage as well. So this one says your request has been submitted, and then proceed to stage 2. I would say okay. And as you can see, stage 1 is under review right now. So it has been sent to the relationship manager of this vendor for approval. So let's just hit refresh. You could see that the stage 2 onboarding has been assigned to this vendor. I'm sorry, code again. Right, so stage 2 onboarding also has been assigned to this vendor. So maybe I'll just enter some basic information here. Phone number. Right, and I will just hit submit. And if the vendor has to provide additional documents or wants to provide additional documents in support of this response, they could always browse to the Documents tab and drop their documents here. So this is a demo account, so it would take longer than it would normally take on your production account. Please bear with us. So this is the upload documents section. As you can see, the SOC2 PDF that I just assigned with questionnaire 1 is popping up here as well. But if there is additional documents to be sent along with the request, that could be done here as well. And at the same time, if you want to upload any FAQs or training videos, you could make them available through this interface as well. Now let me go back to NetSuite and show you how the responses would appear like in NetSuite and how approval is done. So I would go to vendor management, again, it's the same vendor. You can see that demo 1 and demo 33 questionnaires have been submitted and they are pending approval. You can see that this is stage 1 and this is stage 2. Let's go to stage 1. You can see the responses. I just put in the name of the vendor, so that's the only one that's showing up here. And since I've also attached a document with this response, it is going to show up under our SkyDoc tab. So this is SOC 2. So me as an approver on this vendor record can look at the responses and then just approve or even reject it. If I reject it, I would enter comments as to why I'm rejecting the response, and the same information goes back to the vendor. And if additional information is requested, they could always log back into the portal and provide that information. So it's just as simple as that. I just wanted to mention here that SkyDoc is one of our other suite tabs that we have integrated into vendor portal. And this would be the document management repository for the vendor portal. So now if I go back to the vendor record, it would say that the stage 1 has been approved. And we would take the similar action on stage 2 as well. Okay, approved and pending approval. Now, let me just go back onto the portal and log in as an approved vendor. So Charles is a vendor account that has already been approved in the NetSuite system. So I would log in as Charles into vendor portal. And upon login, now this vendor has access to view their profile, and then they would be able to edit their profile information as well. Once they edit, they would have to submit the request, and that request has to be approved in NetSuite for the changes to take effect. They would also have access to look at their purchase orders, item receipts, bills, payments, authorizations, credits, and vendor statements as well. I can show you vendor statement. So this is also a separate app of ours that we have integrated into vendor portal. This will be one place where vendors could download their statements instead of them having to reach out to you. So they would just have to enter their statement date. We'll put the statement date as the 21st and start date as this, and base currency is US dollars. And if you want to include zero balance, I could do that as well. If I want to see open transactions only, then I would check this, and similarly with aging balance, you just hit print. And this generates a vendor statement in a PDF format. This could be printed and kept as a part of records by your vendors. Similarly, we have help desk. So the vendors would be able to come in here and submit any inquiries. That's a general inquiry, and then they could type in the description of their inquiry or any issue that they're facing. And the tickets get submitted, and the person who is assigned to work with the sub-issue type general will be assigned this ticket in NetSuite, and they could take it forward from there. We also have an option to chat with the person the ticket is assigned to. So this is the chat feature. And you as in the vendors could always come in here and look at their existing tickets and the status against them. Documents, again, is the same tab that we talked about during the onboarding. So this can be used for vendors to submit any additional documents, or even for you to broadcast any information to your vendors. So the next part and the recent addition to PortalsPro app is request for quote. Let me show you how that is created in NetSuite. Let me switch back to NetSuite. This is the vendor to which we're going to create an RFQ and send it for their submission. So I'll go to transactions, purchases, and request for quote. And I've actually created an RFQ to save some time. So I'll just show you this. Right, so this is the basic RFQ form that you would enter in NetSuite. So you would say the bid open date, and if you want to assign a close date, you would enter that. And under items, you would list the items for which you want the quote for. And for this particular RFQ, I have asked for quotes against two quantities, as in 100 and 200. Then I would go to vendors and choose the list of vendors who I want to send the RFQ request to. So here I said send it to CS Supplies, and the contact is Thomas. So here is where contacts will be used. So vendor contacts are the ones who will be sent the RFQ request. So this has now been sent to this particular vendor. So as you can see, an email would go to this vendor from the person who has created this, which is me. I would go to my record and show you the email. Request for quote submission right here. So this is the email. So we just look at this. It's just providing some information as to what the close date is and the instructions to log in and fill out the RFQ. Now let me log back into the portal. So as you can see here, the request for quote is now showing number 1 in red, meaning there is one open RFQ that has to be submitted. So I will just hit this tab. And as you can see, the one showing up in bold is the one that has not been responded to. The others have been responded as well. And the one in red shows that the bid has been closed. And the green shows that the bid is still open. So I will just go to RFQ 19. This one talks about what the number is, who the point of contact is, and what is the bid open and close date. And this has been the item that has been requested. And I would just have to enter the material and finish reporting and then repricing. So as you have seen on the RFQ record in NetSuite, I've asked for 100 and 200 in terms of fixed quantities to be quoted against. So I would just put my pricing against this. And if there is any lead time, I would put the lead time as well in terms of the number of weeks. And if there is any other information to be entered, I'll just hit submit. And if the vendor wants to send any attachments, say any blueprints or any such documents, they could use this drop zone here to attach any documents. And then there's payment terms and any other notes that they would want to submit. So just hit submit. And that's it. The quote has been submitted. And as you can see, RFQ 19 is no more bold and it says it has been responded to. So I would go back into NetSuite and then refresh this page. And I would go to the RFQ 19. And under the responses tab, you'll be able to see the responses from the vendors. And if you've sent it out to multiple vendors and multiple vendors have responded to it, they would show up in a list here. Then you could compare vendors. So the list of vendors would show up here and the rates that have been quoted against each tier by each of them would show up here for easy comparison. Then if you want to choose a particular vendor and award them the quote, you would just select that vendor and save the record. And you could always close the bid from the NetSuite record as well. And if the vendor has sent any files along with the response, you could always hit the view files to view the files that have been submitted by the vendor. So these are all the features that we wanted to discuss in this webinar.
Okay, thank you, Shravanti. I'm gonna switch back to our slides. Now, let's just cover some key questions regarding Tvarana's vendor portal. The first being, how often do we upgrade the app?
So we follow NetSuite's upgrade cycle, which is twice a year. So we also release new features twice a year around the same time as NetSuite does. With this, you can use NetSuite's free release preview account to test out the new features of this app as well. This is in cases where you don't have an SP, but otherwise we could always do the upgrades within certain time frame when we release the new features. You will have a choice to either opt in or opt out of the upgrade unless it is something critical and has to be applied to your NetSuite account. At the same time, we also do, as I said, ad hoc updates, and our marketing team usually reaches out to the clients with the details on this.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Shravanti. You mentioned earlier that we could see the actual docs sent out along with questionnaire responses under the SkyDoc tab. Let's tell our audience a bit more about SkyDoc.
Sure. So let me explain. You all must be wondering that since the documents that are sent out along with questionnaire responses are also stored in NetSuite, it could impact storage and result in you needing to purchase more file cabinet storage, which could be expensive, right? We have a solution for this. We have integrated one of our suite apps called SkyDoc into PortalsPro, as I mentioned before. SkyDoc is one of our hero products. It is a document management solution built for NetSuite again, but it stores data on Amazon's AWS. So it comes with everything that Amazon has to offer. It is secure, scalable, robust, highly available, and much more economical than NetSuite's file cabinet. And unlike file cabinet, you just have to pay for what you use. As you've seen in the demo, SkyDoc is seamlessly integrated with NetSuite. You'll be able to access all SkyDoc files from NetSuite and even from outside NetSuite via a unique URL. SkyDoc accepts all standard document types, and all the documents that you would normally store on NetSuite file cabinet can be stored on SkyDoc. Not just this, it is a fully fleshed out document management system with a lot of other useful features. Some of our clients have even gone paperless by using SkyDoc. Please contact us for more information or a demo on SkyDoc. We will share the contact information towards the end of the webinar.
All right. Now, what if PortalsPro satisfies most, but not all of the requirements for a potential client, meaning which they need a few changes or additions?
PortalsPro is pretty customizable. We just need to understand the client's requirements and check out the feasibility. Once these are okay, we will be able to customize PortalsPro for them.
Okay. What does our PortalsPro implementation cycle look like?
So it is the standard implementation cycle. As you can see on the screen, we start with kickoff and discovery, where we try to understand your details in terms of the requirements and use cases. And then if there is any customization needed, we would develop that customization. We would install PortalsPro on one of your sandboxes. And after the training, QA, and UAT, we would install the same in your production environment as well. Post-implementation support is also included, where we work with you on basic PortalsPro application support. And in terms of invoice automation, we work with you on training the AI model on the templates that we agree upon.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Shravanti.
Thank you all.
I'd like to thank everyone who took time out of their day to join us. I'm so glad. I hope you found this informative. And if you have any more questions, this is just an overview of the app. There's a lot more that we can deep dive into. And if you have any further questions, please do reach out to us on the contact information on your screen in front of you. If you choose to learn more, you could just set up a demo with us. And until next time, I hope to see you in a future webinar. Thanks, everyone.